Why? It's not over yet, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Never mind. Nathan Jobson, Spirits GM. What a year it was for you guys making it to nationals. You never said anything other than your desire was to win, and you knew you had the talent to get there if you wanted to. So you got there. Congratulations. How do you feel it went at nationals?
It was good. It was a heck of an experience. A dream come true. Kind of a whirlwind, really. Like you plan all these things and you think, we're gonna make this trip, we're gonna get there, and then to actually get there was one step, and then to make it to the championship game was pretty awesome in the first year. Really was surprising, but not surprising. Like I did have some confidence early on and said I believe we can get there, and we did. So makes me understand I'm not crazy, right? So
yeah, absolutely. And so I mean, we've talked before about how nationals went, but as you saw, your community was really into it. The Alex Bay community, nobody else's team had sponsors get a hold of the national board and be like, hey, we want to contribute to the stream so everybody knows Thousand Islands represented. What was that feeling like?
Yeah, Skiff's did a really good job. Davey Roberts is awesome. He owns a ton of businesses and does a lot for me. And the fact that he wanted to sponsor nationals was pretty cool, because if anybody watched nationals, you didn't miss us, because we were on every commercial is Thousand Island Spirits and Skiffs and 1864, and so
he was big on that. He wanted the Thousand Island Spirits to be part of the ad.
Yeah,
so,
which is pretty cool. He's a big supporter of me. I actually was hanging out with Davey last night, and a year ago, like last week or a couple days ago, was our anniversary of meeting each other. So he was really pumped about that, because the big thing about this league is it's there's not a ton of money in it. It's a labor of love, and when you have someone like him that's willing to say, hey, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you, it certainly makes it easier and eases your mind when it comes to just all the little things that someone like that can do for you, and that's lacrosse.
No, I mean, you guys really have a very tight-knit family. You travel well, you're loud anywhere you go. You can hear the grumblings from the other fans. They're like, oh, we're playing those guys. They know the monster cowbell's coming in.
Yeah.
You guys really have quite a tight-knit group, and it shows out on the floor with the passion you guys play with. So congratulations to you on really building a family. And as we talk about that, how is the family moving forward? Or is anybody graduating, going to college, moving off? Are we getting more college kids in? How does the team look going into this year?
Well, so far, we have probably twice as many people signed up as we did last year at this time for interest. About half or a third really of the team that came back last year signed up, but there's always a lot of late adopters and guys that wait to the last minute. That's pretty common in the lacrosse community. But there's a lot of talk, and I feel pretty good about the season. I know there's some names on the list we haven't seen or the league hasn't seen that have some talent that have signed up, and hopefully they come out and we can be even better this year, so we can finish what we started last year.
Yeah, and coming from, so anybody who doesn't know, Thousand Islands and the Alex Bay area is in pretty close proximity to Watertown. You may have heard of a couple of lacrosse players that came from there, the Powell brothers, and really that whole community, it's a niche. It's not quite as close as some of the other towns are when you talk about towns that are close to these lacrosse havens. It's a field-oriented lacrosse area.
Sure.
As close to Canada as you're located, though, you guys really are a field hub. How has that been? I mean, you had a huge response from the kids. Are you getting a bunch of field guys that are seeing, oh, wow, look at how fast this moves. You have to pick up the loose ball faster. You've got it coming off the boards faster. Are you getting a lot of field guys that are noticing the difference and that you got to walk through a first year with a Hall of Fame coaching staff?
Yeah, so last year we did some pickup prior to the season, trying to get some local guys to consider and come out, and Half of our team was local guys, and a lot of them didn't have any box lacrosse experience. But one of the real, I think, difference makers for us ended up being we had four college kids that played college last year, freshmen or sophomore, junior years, that came out and played last year and did a really awesome job. And that some of them, they've said, like, we've played field our whole life, and this kind of reignited the passion for lacrosse because it's such a different sport. It's not like field. It's like you said, there's more ground balls, there's more action, there's more touches, and they came on and did really well, and then really helped in nationals. Like we were talking earlier, like, got young guys in shape, makes it easier to go 3 days.
That's what I was just going to ask you, is now as you build your team, like you said, those young guys really did help you in nationals, but it's really taking those young guys and mixing them with a bunch of box lacrosse players. You came with a pretty storied box lacrosse history. Like, you had played it for a little while, you knew what it was. Of course, you got Alex Cook, Ty Hill, Travis Cook came, Mike came last year. You had a ton of older guys who hadn't played in a while to get to pass that down. What was that like to be able to give some of those guys, another experience to play on a competitive team that maybe haven't played competitively in 4 or 5 years?
That's the best part about the league, is that it's dual purpose. It helps grow the game of box lacrosse. It gives these college kids an opportunity to improve skills and learn a whole nother version of the game. But it also gives older people that, maybe played and stopped, took a break. That's how I got back into it. I didn't play for a while. I come back, and it's like you just pick up where you left off, and it adds so much value to my life. And there were some guys on my team that didn't compete, for 5-6 years, haven't played, and they come back and they want to play somewhere else other than, on the res or other places that they're used to playing, and they want an opportunity to prove themselves, and this league gives them that opportunity. And, I think they relish that, and there's a lot of guys that nobody knew, probably, some people don't know, but after this past season, they'll recognize their faces, their names, and this year they'll be like, oh, I know who that guy is.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. I mean, we've talked about it. So this league really, it is about growing the game in the, in the country, essentially. Yeah, so this league, you are basically, what this league is aiming to do is to take guys with some box lacrosse experience and move it. What are some of the things that you really thought the league did great that make it easy for a new GM, new owner trying to bring in a team, and what are some things that maybe needed a little work?
It's a league that wants to help grow, and they don't want to make it hard or impossible to grow the game. So their fee is very modest, and what you get out of it with playoffs and nationals, in retrospect, especially if you make it to nationals, then it's like, oh, totally worth it. Now, and the opportunity to compete at that level is really awesome. Some things that honestly are outside the league's control, like where you host nationals and stuff like that, because box lacrosse is a very northeastern heavy sport. It just is. So we have more facilities up here. We have more facilities that are conducive to box lacrosse that aren't like soccer facilities and stuff like that.
The boards are definitely
there's nothing
different.
They can do about that. That's the one difficult part, but that's not the league's issue. That's the whole growing the game part. Is if this can continue to grow, then we'll see more facilities pop up in the Midwest and out west and in the South, and then it can really be. And I think that's box lacrosse as a whole right now.
It's got to be profitable, or else they're going to put ice in. You'll have a place put ice in and pay to freeze it all summer because they can rent the timeout. So I mean, you're not going to lose money to do it. So that's
the thing that is outside of all of our control.
Yeah.
And I think they did the best. They do the best they can do to get us into the right place. And last year's facility was okay. I actually preferred the year before. In Columbus when I played for the Yeti, that facility, playing wise, was actually more. It felt more like a box than the one last year. Last year felt like I was playing on a soccer
I know
field.
Charity appreciated being on an atrium last year, or the first year, compared to being on the scaffolding this year. She was kind of segregated from the rest of us.
That's
we kept
fair.
her up
That's
on the scaffold, so
That's
she
fair.
would probably agree with you 100%. And she had to reach under the net. Props to Charity. I don't know how she does it, but
No, we're not complaining. NABLL, we're not complaining, but
no,
we're growing.
It's
That's how you do it.
It's been great. Yeah, so like you had to tell me about their videos to use all their websites and their assets are actually not on their YouTube channel, but things like that. It's simple that they'll get it fixed. But do you attend any of those like the coach meetings that they provided, or did you just kind of, because you have so much experience with these guys, just kind of roll with what you have?
No, I hopped on some of that stuff's great. Some of the coaches things they did, like with Rod Jensen and when Neil did it, that stuff's very cool. I think that's an awesome thing to do because not everyone has the access, and even if you know box lacrosse or like, it's like any sport, you can always learn something from someone. That someone has something different, a different drill, a different take, a different look, and that's how you grow the game, is learning as much as you can and then implement what you think will work for you, or put it in your back pocket. And that stuff's awesome, and that I hope more teams watch that stuff and pay attention, because it can be helpful. I was on all of them, so
Yeah, no, you kind of got to there's no one way to play box lacrosse.
No.
Everybody's different. You get a big guy like Alex Cook, he shoots a lot different than somebody like Ty Hill, just to compare two players from your team.
Yeah.
You look at it and they're both great goal scorers, but they're completely different players.
Oh, very different. They play a little different. One plays a little faster, one plays a little slower.
Well, Ty, is he ever going to slow down? I was watching
it's
the
hard to
highlights
say.
and he back checks just as hard as he forechecks. I mean, it's something that nobody talks about with Ty a lot, but he back checks hard. You don't get a free ride if he's on the field.
No, he doesn't stop. He kind of keeps the motor going. He's big on health and keeping his mind and body right. I have a few players like that. My left side is, and I was actually talking to Alex the other day. My left side's, we think, is stronger than our right side. My lefties are good. Jake Rice, like Montana, Pierce, those guys are good. Kane Kettle was over there. Ainsley, like, we have very strong lefties. And then my transition guy, like, our team was pretty strong last year. And if everyone can come back together and we add a few more pieces, then, I don't feel bad for everyone else, but I feel real good for us.
Feel real good going into the season, essentially.
Feel real good for us if we can do that. And I know we do have some additions that should be coming, so we'll wait until that happens.
That's awesome. You may or may not have noticed, but we're sitting in a car.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we are in the vehicle.
Yeah. So Nathan Jobson, Spirits GM, was nice enough. He sent me a message the other day, and he was like, "Hey, you want to go to the Buffalo Albany game Friday?" And I thought that was a pretty silly question, because obviously if I could get there, I wanted to get there. And he was kind enough to make sure I could get here, along with some help from Seneca Serpents.
Yeah, Seneca Lake Serpents. Brian hooked me up a couple times. He has season tickets and asked me if I want to go. And I was like, I reached out this week and said, I'll come. I'll find someone to come with me. And here we are. So those guys are great. I'm excited about them being entered into the league. Gives us a new place to play, new people to play, hopefully. Nice facility. It's similar to ours. It's warm, from what I understand. There's not a lot of air conditioning.
Do they have an outdoor box too?
I know they have one out there that they play pickup at, which is cool. I haven't been there for that yet, but
I wonder if they'll play any games out there. I do love going to Tonawanda.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know if it's set up for that. But I'm excited about playing in that little facility too. It looks nice. I think it's where Hobart plays, but maybe they can tell us about that when we see them.
Yeah, no, we're going to...
Those guys will know more about what they're doing than we will. But
yeah.
I'm excited. They're both box lacrosse guys. They've been around the game. They've played in Can-Am. They've played in other places. And I think they're going to be a good addition to our league. And I think they'll probably put out something pretty competitive. So I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. So anybody who maybe doesn't know, the Seneca Serpents are going to be playing essentially it's Hobart, so it's like roughly between Syracuse and Buffalo, correct? Would that be
Yeah, they're on the
accurate?
Finger Lakes, I believe, right? Yeah, the Finger Lakes.
Like you said, we'll get that
Seneca
info
Lake.
from them, but it's all drivable. One huge advantage about playing up here in the Northeast, and we talked about it a little bit before, was your understanding of the way you can schedule games. The NABLL, essentially, you can schedule as many games as you would like with any other team who's in the league, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So once the season starts, I mean, we can play anywhere. And I know, like us, we're willing to travel if teams are, willing to travel too. Like, we can do a home and home, or you can do a, we'll go here this year, you come to us next. Like, as long as teams are committed and you believe that they're gonna be.
Yeah, it's all about building.
That's what we did with
yeah.
Paper City last year. Was we were like, rather than go play in a weekend tournament that can cost us both a ton of money.
Let's just get a
Maybe
couple
we
home
can
games
just
and
play
get
a
some
home
fans.
and home.
Yeah.
Get started, and we started a nice little rivalry with them and a good partnership. And that's a team that's not even in our state.
Another brand new team into the
brand
league.
new. We both came in, and I told them from the first night we played against them when they beat us at their place by 1 that they can win their league. I said, I don't care what anybody says. You guys can do it. You have the talent, and I bet you get better and better as the season goes. And when I watched their playoff, I watched the whole thing. It was awesome. They beat both of them in great games, like Paper City. It was awesome. That's what this game's about, and you got to support each other. Yeah, do I want to beat them? Sure. Did I beat them the second time? Yeah, a lot better, a lot more than they beat us. But,
Yeah. No, I mean, and
that's what it's about. Grow the game.
Yeah, that's it is really cool. Like you said, with some of the teams, you would have to travel more. We're fortunate that. How far of a trip is it for you in Paper City?
From Alex Bay, it's a trip.
It's like 6 hours, probably.
It was a ways, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to go to Albany, essentially.
You go
almost
by
4
my
hours.
house pretty much.
Probably 5.5, 5. Depends.
No, it's
from Aquasasne,
driving to Massachusetts is always kind of a pain in the ass.
Let's not talk about how bad Massachusetts is.
No, it's just
but you're right.
It takes time.
Yeah, it does.
They don't seem to have the the Northway, as I like to call it.
Yeah, they don't.
But that's really a big thing with this league, and being able to go back and forth, though. That's something, we go there this year, you come here next year. As you were out playing nationals, you are in that rare group. You have been to nationals twice on 2 different teams.
Yes.
The guys on your team might be the only ones that have done that.
There's 3 of us in upstate New York that are undefeated in the upstate championship, which is me, Alex, and Ty. We haven't lost one. And then we were able to go to nationals. Me and Alex went to nationals. Ty wasn't able to make it the first year.
They proudly hold the BS Cup.
Yes.
We have a Northeast BS Cup, and did you ever get it burned in there?
I got to handle that. Yeah,
I will burn it in there. You just got to get it to me.
We'll
bring it to me. I'll bring the burner.
I could have brought it too.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. But we do have the BS Cup that will have. So it's got 22 Yeti, 23 Spirit. Who's going to win it for 24? I know you feel confident, but if you don't feel confident going into the season, why are you going into the season, really?
I agree, yeah. If you don't think you can win it, then why play?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the growth is
still fun.
But we are in Buffalo.
Yeah.
To watch the Bandits play, which is exciting. I can't wait. And you're Albany.
Yes. Well, hang on. We're going to do a different video on that because we're going to go live on Instagram with that one in a second.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, we are in Buffalo. Checking it out. By the time you guys see this footage, it's probably going to be Monday. It'll come out right after Yeti Talks, more than likely. It'll be an instant premiere. And, yeah, this was just an awesome trip, and we're going to talk every quarter. I'm super excited for it because then I'm going to go through and clip the highlights, and we're going to pick out, the goal of the game, and we're going to make all of... we're going to basically give a little thank you, shout out to the sponsors, like we do on Yeti Talks, by playing them all, after the season, because we appreciate the sponsors. Support our local sponsors. Without them, none of us would be doing this.
Nope.
All right, so we're talking now Albany, Buffalo. Obviously, I think Albany can win and will win. As a semi-neutral guy, what do you think the score is of the game? Are we going to be over or under 20 goals?
They're both teams that can score. I would think it'd be over 20 for sure. I would think you'd have to be over 20 goals. I think that's easy.
You would think so,
Yeah.
but both of these goalies are capable of shutting out the other side. And Albany's offense, honestly, They're a little streaky sometimes.
They are. They are streaky. And Buffalo's streaky.
I think if it stays under 20, Albany wins the game. If it goes over 20, I'd be willing to bet Buffalo wins. Albany's offense has been here too many times. This game means too much to Buffalo compared to Albany. I obviously would love to see Albany win. They are capable of it, but it means a lot more to Buffalo. We're in the Buffalo barn. And Banditland is something else. If you've never been to Banditland, you have to get out here. I can't wait to show the videos from when we're in there. This place is electric. They do it better than anybody. I will bet. I've never been to the Loud House. I hear that's good. Or the Rough House. Those both. But I am telling you, I don't think anybody does it better than Banditland.
I have to say, this was the first time I came here. I was blown away. It's, especially as a box lacrosse fan and someone that loves the sport, to see what the sport can be, with 17,000 people.
This is amazing. It's nothing better.
It doesn't get much better. If
you could bring anybody here for a solid Bandits game, you'll have a lifelong box lacrosse fan.
Yeah, 100%. The one person, if you come here and you've never been, you'll wonder why you haven't watched box lacrosse. You'll wonder why it's taken so long to take off.
Absolutely.
It's the best.
It's amazing.